What's up? Got the other hoodie. I just lost lots of money. I had to wear it today. But anyway, let's go see what Monday looks like. It is Monday, and I have to say, Mondays are usually exciting because you just don't know how the week's gonna go. And sometimes Mondays are temperamental. They don't even tell you how the week's gonna go. Let's hop on over to the sticks and see what's going on in the world. So here we go. We've got OGI kind of leading losses down here, or just leading into market open, trying to come back up a bit, but only 2% in terms of. Sorry, that totally came over me. Only 2% down as our worst loser in the day, being 2% in pre-market on Monday. That's actually very, very good. That's a good sign. Like if you're just waking up and you're like, what, only 2% down? That's the worst? 1.8%? Pretty good. Personally, that to me sounds like we might be setting up for a potential rally. So who knows? Maybe there's something to potentially swing here. So we've got Express, Plug Power, Fuel Cell. A lot of these guys down about 0.5% to 1%. Etsy down 1/4 to 1. Neo's about 1/4. Amazon, API, and that's it. That's it in terms of the neg. OGI right back to about 2% down here. But if we go to the pre-market green. Look at this. What do we talk about like for the last 3 weeks? I'm like, wow, NGA under $20 is really weird. I think this is going to go back to $20. It's back at $20. In fact, now it's at $20.70, and it's running. Like this one here, just in actually really the entire pre-market here. It blew up in pre-market, and it just kept going and going and going. Pre-market has been very, very good to the Northern Genesis SPAC. Commercial vehicle SPAC. And we got COS, AMC, Microvision, ZOM, and GameStop kind of trying to lead a charge here today, which is kind of incredible. This momentum continues to ride at GameStop and AMC. I will say, I personally, I think this might just be the deflation of the GameStop short interest. Hold on one second. Okay. Could be the sort of the deflation of the GameStop short interest, because remember what happened when we had our first run? We went from like 130% short on GameStop to somewhere around 60% short. And really, then we had this lull around $20 or $40 a share rather. And then we've started to see this deflation in the short interest again. Sorry, deflation, but sort of the reduction in the short interest again. And we've been going from about 60% short to around 25% short. We'll do an update on that as well this morning. So we'll see how this evolves here. Then we've got, look at this. We've even got recovery up right now. We've got American Airlines getting ready to open up about 5%. Wow. Spirit, 3.6. Virgin Galactic coming back up. Canoe, solidly over 5% now. An expectation that we held as well. Xpeng, also up 3% here. United, Cinemark, lots of recovery up. Lemonade up 2.25%. Great interview, by the way, with the Lemonade CEO. If you have not had a chance yet to watch, take a peek. Take a peek on or listen to the Lemonade CEO talk. Really, really great. Reiterates why I'm bullish on the company. Churchill Capital up 2%. C3AI 2%. Look at this mix. I mean, we've got really like almost everything is green. We've got tech up. We've got vehicle EVs up. We've got, what else do we have here? We've got recovery up. Everything is up. It's absolutely incredible. Upwork also up. And Upwork's been on a little bit of a downtrend, although the last few trading sessions, it has been up. Pinterest up about 1%. AT&T at $30, pretty much exactly. It's incredible. It's so challenging for it to be over $30. Roblox barely up, so now we're at about the 0.5% over here. The GM, the Ford, the Yelp, the PayPal, the Microsoft, the Roblox, Tesla. Look at Tesla's flat. That's interesting. Tesla at $694. Not doing anything. I mean, out of all of them here, Gores and Tesla are really the ones kind of sitting flat here in the middle today. CRISPR Therapeutics, DocuSign, Neo, also sitting a little bit flat. So we'll see how the day kind of evolves here. It looks like AMC is trying to take off a little bit here in the intro. Oh, thank you, friends in low places. Welcome aboard. Thank you for buying 2 hoodies. And the super chat. So costs also, let's see, about 9% going into the open here. GoPro moving up into the open. Wow, we're gonna have a very interesting open. So we're gonna be opening in about 4 minutes here. Let's go. Let's pull the Bloomberg terminal up here. I think I was too slow on opening this. I might have to redo that. Yep, I was too slow on opening that. So we'll log back into the Bloomberg terminal in just a moment. Let's take a peek to see what is getting started on the mainstream. Let's see what we've got on Fox Business. Oh, we're actually talking about airlines and business.
At the airports. 1.2 million on Saturday. 1.3 million the previous Friday. They're coming back. Keith Fitz is with us. Is this just the beginning of the reopening play on the stock market, Keith?
It is, Stuart, and it's very, very important psychologically for all the reasons you were just talking about prior to the break. It's mental health as well as financial health. The sad thing is that many investors have been so scared and shell-shocked by this that they're not going to believe it even though it's happening right in front of them. The biggest risk, Stuart, with data like this is being left out.
The key to watch is the number of people traveling, hotel bookings, all kinds of bookings for any kind of travel. That's the key, is it not, to getting back, opening up, coming on strong for the economy?
Absolutely. Plus one other. If you walk around your neighborhood, and to Susan's point, you see people picnicking on the grass, out with families, strolling, walking their dogs. Anecdotally, there's a lot of information you can pick up, even if you're not a sophisticated investor. It's the litmus test.
Okay, what about big tech? We always have to return to this because it occupies such a dominant position in the market. Seems to me that big tech has rather stalled recently, not challenging those old new highs. Where are you, having supported it for 5 years or more? Where are you now on big tech?
Well, frankly, I'm drooling. I think this is great that Wall Street has got its attention elsewhere because, technology is not going to disappear anytime soon. You're talking about $10-15 trillion that are going to get spent across every industry, every segment in the next 10 years, all of which has a common lynch point in technology. So it doesn't matter what flavor you pick. If you stick with the winner.
Now remember, we've got, I want to just jump in here and say we got 90 seconds to the opening bell here. Yeah, I mean, look, this is exciting. We're starting to see the beginning of that recovery boom. And I think certainly recovery stocks have a lot of growth ahead of them. But they've also got a lot of debts ahead of them. So who knows? Maybe they can raise capital and get out of this. But I mean, you almost wonder how high would the airlines have been and the restaurants have been and the retail and the hotels have been if it weren't for the pandemic. Except now you've got to consider dilution in stock value and additional debts. So personally, my recovery play still Disney, but beyond that, all in on the future of innovation, tech. Super excited, obviously, by the companies that we like to follow, but we'll keep an eye on recovery as well. We do have the market opening in about 25 seconds. So let's go ahead and jump on over to CNBC for the opening bell. Let's listen to that sound. It's the end of the weekend, and here's the bell for it.
With warp speed and what's happened, bring it on. Bring on whatever illness there is. It's going to be defeated. And that's just not the case. Carl, this one may be too hard for now. Just too hard.
We know it's a tough hill, and sometimes even encouraging data is never linear, and you do get setbacks, Jim, as you well point out. There's the opening bell at the big board. It's Perception Systems company Ava celebrating its IPO. We're going to talk to the CEO on Squawk Alley later this morning. At the NASDAQ, it's Prometheus Biosciences doing the honors. Jim, all your big pharma talk reminds me of just what's going on regarding vaccines. Yes, last week was busy.
What was with the triple bell we had there? That was weird.
White House, this AstraZeneca stuff, trying to defend themselves against these studies that argue that there's a risk of blood clots and the ongoing troubles in rolling out any vaccines really in Europe right now.
Yeah, I mean, I shocked at Italy, where the epicenter after China, and that was during Fashion Week is when it started. That was last month. And they're still nowhere versus, say, Israel, where you're getting some very positive data. shows you what can happen if people roll up their sleeves. I do.
Let's jump in over here and see what's happening in the open. Interesting sort of triple bell they had there, but let's pull these charts here and see what's happening on the open at some of those we're watching here. So NGA holding up after that pre-market surge. Here we go. Looks like it's trying to surge again. I mean, remember this thing traded around like $25 for a while. It was one of the reasons I had conviction it was going back to 20. This thing, I mean, fell as low as 13, 14 here. And keep that in mind, a lot of these stocks, in my opinion, are going to be rubber banding back to where they were previously. Geez, now it's up 20%. That's, I mean, what an open here in the second minute. It just moved another 3 or 4% here. Cost, GoPro, AMC's, AMC actually dropping on the open, whereas it looks like Cost is running. Zom declining here. American Airlines, GameStop. What else? United Airlines, no, running a little bit here. The open, okay. A little bit of a run on Spirit. I want to look at Desktop Metals as well. For the market with the triple bell. Yeah, the triple bell is interesting. We'll look at that in a moment as well because they did report today. So let's go jump on over and pull them up. But I do want to see how other things are trading. And then we'll also look at the 10-year. Let's see what's going on here. Oops. I think it's just DM, right? DM. Yeah, Desktop Metal. There we go. All right. We will take a peek at that in just a moment. So things kind of opening consistent here. Well, GoPro and Cost are the ones that are running. NGA running as well. Okay. The airline's kind of mixed, I would say, almost on the open. Like they're not running out of the gate. Sundial, by the way, reports earnings this week. So that'll be interesting. Okay, let's go to what's here we go. This is interesting. The pre-market did not see this coming. Look at this charge point like collapse over here. The pre-market did not indicate any issues at charge point. And all of a sudden, big sell order coming in, driving charge point down about 6.5%. We do have Bitcoin down substantially. Bitcoin back to about $56,000. There was a lot of, in my opinion, trader euphoria that went into Bitcoin that says, let's buy Bitcoin, assuming the stimulus checks are going to pump it up. And wouldn't be surprised if there was a moment of, okay, let's take profits. Let's see where that moment was. So if we zoom out here, let's go to the hour mark. We hit about 61.8 as a high on the hour. And we kind of sat here yesterday around, it looks like midnight Eastern. We kind of began a decline. Little bit of sort of that bull trap right here, right? Where it's like, oh, it's going back up again. Yeah, no, just kidding. Remember, these are the hour candlesticks. So these will spread out a little bit more. There you go. Jeez, look at that sell right here. Look at that candlestick of 30 minutes of just pain. Whoo! All right. Well, charge point now leading losses down about 7.5%. API also falling. Property Solutions SPAC, that is Faraday, falling down about 2%. We've got Matterport down about 1%. Neo down 0.75%. Tesla down about 0.5%. Amazon also down about 0.5%. Pinterest, Etsy, with Domino's. I mean, no consistency today in terms of what's down. Who knows? Maybe is this like the return of the SPAC? Oh, did NGA just sold off a little bit below its pre-market? We've got GoPro. A GoPro skyrocketing here very, very consistently. And we didn't even see this kind of run in the pre-market. We had a nice sort of slow climb here. And now we're really taking off over here on GoPro. We've got AMC not as stable as, for example, something like GoPro's run right here. We always want to wait to see what kind of support levels we're going to hit on some of these in the event we're going to trade them. Now, I will say the airlines, stable. They were a little mixed there coming out of the gate, but they're stabilizing. American Air up almost 7%. We've got United Airlines up about 4.7%. Delta 3.3%. Consistently up here. Dave & Buster's, nice climb. Dave & Buster's almost $50 a share. Absolutely incredible. We've got Microvision, Bed Bath, Churchill Capital, Enphase, all these guys up 2% today. But very mixed in terms of what companies. I mean, we've got tech and recovery up, and we've got tech and recovery down. Or mostly tech, it looks like. Very, very sort of interesting market here. No consistency. Let's see what they're talking about over here and pull up the 10-year as well.
Guys, we got some M&A to talk about this morning, though. Well, I mean,
mergers.
Start off with, it's a big deal. It is Canadian cable, but the names are moving. There's a lot of U.S. investor bases, you might imagine. Rogers is a name some of our viewers may know, largest Canadian cable company, but they're buying another company called Shaw. It's a pretty big price tag that we're talking about here, about $26 billion. That does include about $6.
I don't know anything about Canadian cable. I hate to say it, but let's see what Varney's got to say about this.
Biden, Speaker Pelosi, not calling for New York Governor Cuomo's resignation. Watch this.
That did not take long. Like we are literally 7 minutes into market open, and we go straight to politics at Fox Business. Like, it's one thing, I feel like, if you're going to talk about politics when it's not market open or close. But okay. All right. I'm not running their channel. All right.
Here, but sort of more or less just going, frankly, on what's in the release, Jim. But it's a big deal. We had a couple of other smaller deals this morning. I'm sure you saw the Roche deal, a couple of others as well. Extended Stay America getting taken private by Blackstone and Starwood. So, some M&A this morning beyond, obviously, the SPACs.
Look, I think that we're in an exciting market. It's a market.
All right. I feel like their script has run out. They have no idea what to say. So in that case, let's go on over to the 10-year here. Let's see what we've got at the 10-year. We've got the 10-year at 1.61%, and a very mixed market. So we've this was let's see here. Let's go to 3-day here. And just look at intraday, how this is looking. We'll zoom in a little bit here. There we go. So the day really started around this line right here. And in the day, we've been mostly trending down. We trended down from an open of about 1.63 down to about 1.61. So the 10-year is currently trending down. I expect that the 5-year is probably mirror imaging that. Let's take a quick peek at this. And then let's look at desktop metal, and then we'll go back to the sticks here. So let's go to 3-day here. Yeah, about the same thing. Not as consistent of a decline, but yeah, on average, still a decline in the 5-year. Let's look at desktop metal. Let's see what's going on here. They reported earnings this morning. It sounds like they had a miss. They reported earnings at about 5 a.m. my time. Desktop metal EPS misses by 18 cents, misses on revenue. They had revenue of $8.4 million with a consensus of $9.3 million in the quarter. This is, let's see, what else do we have? Well, let's see how the stock is performing. DM, that's down about 2.5%. And Terra, here's one that was up ridiculously last week. I mean, I'm talking about somewhere around 100-something% within a day. Now down about 10%. But going back to our primary stocks here, we got NGA trying to recover back really to its open level of about up 16%. AMC's trying to make plays here, but really the only thing making the plays has been the airlines, although even they are starting to potentially consolidate a bit here. Look at this QuantumScape coming out of nowhere. I wonder if Quantum had news. By the way, Sundial does report this week. No news that I could see from QuantumScape. It's potentially here's something to keep in mind, and this is bizarre, but I guess I shouldn't say it's bizarre. It potentially makes sense, but we could be seeing the return of the SPAC, and that is not very uncommon to see. That after a massive sell-off, the first thing that sells off are the riskier SPACs and the uncertain mergers, and then we get the return of the SPAC once risk has sort of escaped a little bit. Let's listen on in over here Let's see what's going on here.
Diamond hands to you, partner.
Yeah. But why is Mary Dillon stepping down?
She wants to move on. She did a great job. Carl?
She did a great job.
She did a great job.
And she's moving on. Carl, Viacom and Discovery, both still up. So all's right with the world.
Wow.
Both are still higher.
Yeah, I'll go
with that downgrade of Viacom this morning. It is still up, but only 39 cents or so. But up is up.
It's the algos. You figured the algos.
I haven't seen Jim Cramer with a Starbucks coffee in a while. I don't know. Maybe I haven't been paying attention that much.
Oh, we're doing a little lucid stuff. Little pre.
Okay, got it.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. We did get a record high on the Dow, guys. Let's get to Bob Pisani. Morning, Bob.
Good morning, guys. Happy Monday. It's a modest open, but the internals look great. Advanced decline line has been strong for the last few days. We got a lot of new highs on Friday. We're getting a lot of new highs today. There's very little to dislike about the markets right now. Let's take a look at the sectors. It's the reopening trade that's leading, and that is appropriate. But we're also getting tech doing okay. There's retail.
Yeah, let's. It looks like CCIV is running, and I want to look at this. So let me go to the candles here. But first, take a look at this, folks. Look at what I got myself. The To the Moon coffee mug. But what's awesome is you could take a sip with your right hand. Nothing like To the Moon rocket emoji while you just lost lots of money. But anyway, if I now take a sip with my left hand, folks, we buy the dip. These are obviously at metkevin.com/merch. Really just for entertainment purposes did we make these, but they've been really fun. And do keep in mind that course coupon code for stocks, psychology, money, and honestly, all of the courses does expire today. Property management, sales, making YouTube videos, making money from YouTube. Obviously, the stocks group, which comes with the buy-sell alerts, and the real estate courses, which you can all bundle these up if you wanted to. But anyway, that coupon code does expire tonight. We'll take a look at CCIV here running. Very nice. So very kind of mixed open, right? Mixed open, and then a run right here. And we're getting some good pressure here. Let's look at the volume. Let's understand what's happening. We had volume go from about 40 to 80,000 to, we had a big volume stick here of 488,000. That volume is declining a little bit. This could have been a large buy purchase that is leading to, this is not consistent momentum yet. I would not call this enough to like day trade this because this volume's declining again, which remember what happens. Somebody comes in with a big buy, the price shoots up, and then you get sort of that balloon deflating, that whoop at the grocery store, and then the woo. So, sometimes that volume continues though. Let's see. 299, 283. Okay. Volume actually stabilizing now. That's good. That's good. Geez, this is turning into a return of the SPAC. If I'd be trading right now, I think I'd be looking at SPACs. Yeah, certainly the car SPACs. All the car SPACs are killing it right now. At least the ones that we're tracking. What's losing right now? ChargePoint. And this is a completed SPAC. When they complete, I notice they lose some of that appeal. Oh, let's listen to the bond report. Here we go.
Good morning, Carl. Bob Pisani nails it. He nails it every morning. We're looking at higher stocks, higher rates, so it's a good thing. But I would mention one other category, much higher stimulus, much more generous policies, and the reason higher rates are making many traders a little nervous, and of course we're hooking in that inflation mentality, is because where would rates be without all the extra stimulus, all the extra gasoline, and the policy trying to keep them tamped down? And that's why many investors are a bit nervous. Would it be 1% higher? How much more can it handle? Because we know, all things being equal, rates are too low for this reopening trade, because there's a big dam that's going to burst pretty soon when everything starts to reopen in earnest. Look at a 2-day of 10s. We captured a 164 intraday high on Friday, and we had a fresh new post-COVID cycle high yield close in all long-dated treasuries. So sticky. Let's hook into last Friday, and you see 3.5 there on the far left, 162s, 164. We're hovering at the top of the zone, and we're not correcting much. And that, That is where the nervousness comes in. It isn't necessarily that we don't think where rates are going higher. Most traders do. The fact of the matter is that they're not given any retracements. Maybe it's going to be hotter than many think. Look at 10s and 30s on the same chart. So that chart goes back to December. We're at the highest yield closes going back to the end of 2019 for 30s. And as Bob pointed out, 13-month highs for 10s. Look at a year-to-date of boons. They settle around minus 57. So basically half. But the point of this is how they're consolidating right into that minus 30 level. And finally, year to date of the dollar index, it's hovering up 2% on the year. And it's sort of liking the solid, firm tone of interest rates. Carl, David, and welcome back, Jim. Back to you.
It's interesting. I know this. Look, the 10-year is settling around that 161 level. And you got to give it to the argument that, hey, at least right now, while we're settling at 161, look, you do have some tech selling down a little bit. Not much, though. I mean, look, 1% on Twitter, Twilio, C3AI, Tesla, 0.5%, 0.6%, Etsy, 0.5%. Where's Enphase today? Let's see here. I don't know. Not sure how much we can just attribute to. See, Enphase is up 1%. Very, very odd, this mix that we're getting. Very, very odd. Whereas, here we go again. Look at this. NGA hit a nice support level here at $20. I definitely thought this was going to go back to over $20. It did. It even hit support at $20. And now it's running again. AMC looks like it's potentially taking off a little bit here. Let's look at the volume. So we've got volume. Yeah, we've got a good increase in volume right here in the last 3 minutes. Good push in volume. We did have a pretty good open as well with volume. AMC running again on this reopening trade. Lots of this Tendy printing over in that reopening market. Let's find where are the airlines. The airlines are on this page. Look at this. The airlines heading straight up intraday here. We've got the airlines opening up around 5-6%. Now American Airlines up about 8.25%. NGA up almost 20%, recovering back to the levels where it was previously. Canoe running. Canoe now at about, 1567 here. Let's go ahead and pull our numbers over. There we go. That makes it a little easier for us to look. Sundial reporting earnings this week. Carnival up almost 5% as well. Just a very clear, reopening amount of positivity that we're getting. But we are seeing some tech mixed into this. I mean, and even EV. CCIV now consolidating a little bit, but that's okay. Even the airlines have done that. So we'll see how CCIV behaves throughout the rest of the day here. Beyond Meat heading back towards 150. We've got the very good food company up 3%. Lots of, we got G-Tech Holdings up. This one did sell off for a few days there in a row towards the end of last week. We've got marijuana up a little bit. The cruise line. Now here's Norwegian. Not as much as Carnival, but also up. Facebook lows AMD a little bit more towards the center. Apple's up about 1%. Virgin Galactic not as high as it was. Rocket kind of sold off on the open here. No clear... I still can't say we have a certain clear play here. I would say, if anything, recovery is certainly outperforming tech because we do have much more of a tech concentration over here. The banks start coming in around 1% of a loss, and then we get some mixedness over here. But really nice runs over here on NGA and AMC. That we got a little bit of a consolidation happening here, except for QuantumScape really pushing again. Somebody mentioned in the comments that there's a Volkswagen battery day. Let's take a peek at that for a moment here. Let's see. Volkswagen battery day. Let's see. Volkswagen battery day. Okay. So that is scheduled for today. The Ides of March is today, by the way. So Volkswagen battery day is going to organize an event spelling out its electric vehicle strategy on March 15th. The event is widely seen as a reply to Tesla's annual battery day. Maybe that's why we're seeing Tesla down a teeny little bit here. Let's see. Power Day, which they're now calling Battery Day. Okay. So what do we? Here's what we already know about the Volkswagen Battery Day. Volkswagen has indicated by 2030, 70% of its vehicles sold in Europe will be fully electric. It's pretty good. I mean, to get to 70% by 2030, we'll see. Represents around 5 million cars. They got a lot of work to do to make that happen. Volkswagen is likely to communicate on its plans for production and the supply of batteries. That's huge. Everything right now is about the production of batteries, the supply of batteries. That's what's limiting, for example, Tesla's growth. New factory in Spain, Project Trinity, which forms a 3. Okay, let's see here. Teased the silhouette of the car, which appears to be a crossover. All right. So we'll see some exciting news out of Volkswagen today, though we'll see what kind of how people on the market actually react to that. Let's go ahead and listen to Jim.
Directly from that, I know lower interest rates, obviously, but the idea that capital gains and dividends could be taxed like ordinary income, I think a lot of Americans just feel these are huge breaks for the rich. I'd like to think that it's not the case. I'd like to think that there are many people who are participating in stocks, but we know, David, we know that that's just not the case. So capital gains and dividends, if they went to ordinary income, and I don't want that to happen, but if it happened, it would raise a lot of money. And it would certainly raise a lot of money before it happened, as people would rush to do it.
Right, and you're saying people would rush to sell
Yes.
at the current rate.
Yeah.
You know, the question always becomes, Carl, on all these things, like what does the math look like in the Senate in particular, and what can you really get through there? Obviously, the relief bill was done under reconciliation. Could you do a tax bill in that same way? And then what about infrastructure? It just becomes very much unclear exactly what they're going to be able to accomplish with a 50-50 split right now, and certainly moderates such as Joe Manchin having such influence.
Indeed. I mean,
And that's the big thing, is trying to convince people like Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema to be on board with the Democratic Party in terms of whatever their priorities might be. And so we'll see what happens. Obviously, investing in the stock market, we will react as is needed. Look at Roblox selling down about 3.99%. Let's go ahead and compare this to IPO pricing. So IPO open day, let's go to open day here, open hour rather. Let's go to open hour. Open hour, we were at $67 on Roblox. Let's go to opening day. Now, let's go to opening 30 minutes. How about that? Yeah, that'll work. Okay, opening 30 minutes. So about 67.5. Kind of been trending above that line. And now we are below it. We are now below IPO price. No, I'm sorry. We're not there yet. We're at 68. I thought we were at 66 for a moment. Oh, we did get that down. We did get that low. Yeah, see this long candlestick here. Hold on. Let's go to the 1 minute. There we go. Okay, bouncing off 66. That's what's happening. So we're at 67.13 right now, bouncing off lows for Roblox. So here's a potential better buy opportunity than we had at IPO price. Got Peloton down 2%. Shift down 2%. Carvana, the used car space down. GM down. Cloudflare down. Kind of bizarre. Just why certain things are down and others aren't. A lot of the manufacturers down on Volkswagen Day here, or their battery day. Look at this. Tesla now flat. Tesla regaining. If I could click on the darn thing. There we go. Yeah, Tesla's trying to regain to open flat here. Let's see. NIO up about 0.25% now. 0.2% to 0.25%. AMC. Look at that run on AMC. My goodness. Woo! Look at that move. Wow. Let's go. That is incredible. We're at 1342. When's the last time we've been at these levels? We've been going back. $25 is where we ran on January 28th, which was my birthday. And then let's see here. Recently, we ran to 1190. We're at all-time highs here since Jan 28th, or approximately the period around there. We are really running hard here on AMC. This is exciting. Of course, as I say that, the red candlestick comes out, right? So classic. Whoa, look at the sundial run. Here you go. Let's go. Wow. This, honestly, yeah, never doubt AMC. Isn't that right? One thing to keep in mind here, in addition to, of course, taking advantage of the 38% off coupon code, which expires today, which gets you 38% off on all the programs, and you can even bundle up on them. Sorry, I had to do that. One of the things to keep in mind is, in my opinion, okay, and this is just my opinion, could be wrong about this, I would not be shocked to see a buy the rumor, sell the news at Sundial. I don't actually think, because Sundial has become a momentum stock, that their earnings are going to support that momentum. Who knows? Could be wrong. But I would not be surprised that we end up seeing a nice Sundial run to earnings, and then potentially a sell-off thereafter. So we'll see. We will see. The rumor is just when I say buy the rumor, sell the news, it's just sort of a generic term of buying before a news event. So there's no specific rumor regarding Sundial, not that I'm aware of, at least. Look at this Canoe, 9% here. Telling these SPACs, the commercial vehicle SPACs, they got so oversold, ridiculously oversold. Like, we thought Neo and Xpeng were oversold. Whoo! These guys oversold. Wow. And they are now really recovering here. And hey, shout out to American Airlines. Jeez, the most highly indebted airline from going into the pandemic, now up 9.7%. Absolutely incredible. Xpeng rocketing after getting an investment from the Chinese government. Xpeng up about 2%. Okay, it's put some jet fuel in the rocket, see what happens, kind of thing. We've got Tesla going green here. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Bloomberg's on TV commercial. Let's go listen to top. Let's go listen for a moment to top news and see, or take a peek for a moment rather than listen. Let's see what's going on top news. And let's see what the suits are reading. I always like reading what the suits are reading just to get an understanding of what it is that they've got going on. Now, I want to pull up. I just want to make sure we also have the Bloomberg TV up here. And that way, soon we might be able to watch this. But it looks like it gets frozen on their ad, because apparently we don't pay enough money to Bloomberg. All right, so what do we got here? Biden eyes first major tax hike since 1993 in next economic plan. President Joe Biden is planning the first major federal tax hike in 1993 to help pay for the long-term economic program designed as a follow-up to his pandemic relief bill, the infrastructure plan, in other words. Janet Yellen has said at least part of the bill will have been paid for, and pointed to higher rates. Okay. So potentially a higher corporate tax rate and higher individual tax rate. Yay. That'll be fun for the Californians. Let's see here. What else? The Biden administration. The plan changes are an opportunity to not just fund key initiatives like infrastructure, climate, and expanded help for poor Americans, but also address what Democrats argue are inequities in the tax system. Ooh. The White House has rejected an outright wealth tax as proposed by Elizabeth Warren. The White House is enacting a suite, or expected to propose a suite of tax increases, mirroring Biden's 2020 campaign proposals, likely including raising the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%. Whoo! Paring back tax preferences for I'm surprised the stock market's not selling off more from this. Honestly, the election of Biden could have priced that in already. Paring back tax preferences for so-called pass-through businesses, such as LLCs. Raising the income tax on individuals earning more than $400,000. Expanding the estate tax reach, and a higher capital gains tax rate for individuals earning at least $1 million annually. Yeah. Okay. All right. And Senator Mitch McConnell says we'll have a big, robust discussion about the appropriateness of a big tax increase. Wow. We are going straight from stimulus into taxation. It's happening. Speaking of it's happening, the same time as we're talking about the corporate tax rate going up, it looks like Tesla's up 1% now, over 700. Palantir, over 27. Good moves by Palantir. NGA still rocketing today, now over $21 a share. Congratulations to the NGA holders. Sundial up about 10%. United catching up. Look at that. Catching up to American Airlines. But American Airlines is still running. Look at that beautiful chart. Oh, man, it's so nice. Woo, 10.5%. Churchill Capital up 6.5% here. Wow, it is turning into a very green day here. Are we still losing things here? I mean, other than ChargePoint and Bitcoin, what else? Peloton's down a bit on the reopening. And remember, we expected this. This is something I've regularly talked about. People like Kevin, we know you like Peloton. Shouldn't you buy more Peloton? Wait, just like the vaccine stocks, give it a little bit. Let people go take their money, go buy the recovery stocks. Wait for Peloton and the vaccine stocks to get cheap, and then you go buy them. Let's listen into this for a moment.
The stimulus package news, and to what degree does the street sort of see that in the rearview mirror and hit the sell button?
Well, I think it's too early to sell. I think the street is more concerned about this move up we've had in interest rates. The 10 years moved up to the top end of its trading range. But underneath that, you have such a strong economy. We've seen companies report fabulous earnings, provide good outlook. So it's pretty hard to short in the face of so much good fundamental news. The passing of the stimulus bill is a little icing on the cake for the market, I think.
Right. Yeah. And the rotation that we've seen as a result of that move in yields, does that have farther to go? There's some arguing this morning that maybe it's gone too far and that the market can well withstand yields of even above, say, 175.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I think the market could have yields above this where it is right now, about 1.6. And I think that the move we've had in the very sensitive cyclicals like travel and that we've had in some of the smaller caps, I think still has a little bit more to go. But they've done so much catch up over their underperformance from growth and large cap last year. I think they're probably converging, and I think that we won't see so much outperformance. I'm not looking for a big correction in those sectors simply because the fundamentals are great across the board, large cap, small cap.
Ernesto, I'm curious. I mean, the Nasdaq's up fractionally right now, but overall, do you think the shakeout we've seen in growth and tech has farther to go?
I think so, because the outperformance of growth has gone on for almost 10 years, and there's so much catching up left to do for value stocks, and in particular, the cyclicals.
This is, I have to say, this is a very, very common narrative by the suits. Every single day, the suits are like, no, recovery's coming back. It's the recovery stocks, the value stuff. It's coming back. I don't know, folks. I still think, look, maybe you'll get a double out of American Air. But by the time you get a double out of American Air, I wouldn't be surprised we see more than a double out of like a Tesla or something like that. Well, we'll see. I don't know. The timing can be funny.
Very strong economic contraction. And as we get out of that, I think cyclicals have room left to go.
So cyclicals, Ernesto, but I'm also curious what you think about small caps, especially on a day where Bank of America came out and downgraded small caps and basically said it's the most vulnerable. This is the group that's most vulnerable to cost pressures as the economy does reopen, and also given the valuation we've seen in Russell 2000. Is there still opportunity to invest within some of those smaller names?
No.
Absolutely. I think a lot of the...
Of course there is. I don't want to listen to this, though. I want to go back to the stick here for a moment. Back to the sticks. Where's the soundboard? You know what? I need to hire somebody just to play sound effects. Okay, no, I don't. I think I'll probably just annoy the crap out of people more than I already do. But anyway, look at this. Tesla now at 707. Really, really nice run here at Tesla. Good run at Tesla. NEO 160. Very, very nice run. Going from red to where we are now, not bad. I added SOS to the watch list. It sounds like they had some kind of news here, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Bloomberg terminal in just a moment. We'll see what happened at SOS. American Air consolidating a tiny bit here. Sundial also, a little bit of a red stick coming in here, with the exception of, look at Churchill Capital. I mean, a nice 7% today. Very, very nice. Good moves here. Where's Square? We haven't seen Square in a while. What are they doing? Flat. What losers? No, I like Square. I look Square valuation, and I say it every time. It's more. You need to stretch it more to make sense of it than like a Tesla. Tesla's much easier. Airbnb 210. Wow, 210. That's incredible. That is incredible. Oh, Enphase. Oh, Tattooed and Enphase up about 3% each. Awesome. Coupang is up 3% as well. Lots of the 3% here. Look at this. GameStop sitting in the middle here. GameStop is it's almost like that misfit in school who never really belonged, who was always kind of alone. But then one day they decide they want to be popular, so they just hang out with everybody else. And kind of GameStop has been doing that. And GameStop's now become like the class president. Like everybody loves them. It's really incredible. It's just it has ingrained itself so far. I said, let's look at the short interest. I still think that there's going to come a moment here where the short interest just goes so low, and maybe it'll stay up. But I think a lot of this continued sort of bump after bump after bump we're getting is driven by closing of short positions. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and run the Black app. There's a documentary on GameStop already. My gosh, how do you get a documentary out that fast? I mean, I guess I could probably have thrown a documentary together and gotten it out that fast. I'll do a documentary in a weekend. So I guess it's doable. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to be going to GameStop most of my life. That price makes no sense. Okay. Well, let's see here. So let's go ahead and put in GameStop here. GME. All right, what do we got? GME. Yeah, oh my gosh, it just keeps going down. Look at this. The short interest. It's plummeting. It's plummeting. See, we look at this. We were at like 35% Feb 11th. It's literally just been straight down. We're at just 16.4% right now. I was mentioning yesterday. Okay. I was mentioning yesterday that if this goes down to 10 to 15%, we're going to start seeing a slowdown of basically this freebie increase in the share price. And in my opinion, the freebie increase in the share price is shorts covering, because it creates this sort of it creates a squeeze, right? It creates shorts getting out and buying the stock. And so you're creating this buy volume that might not be ultra consistent. See what they're talking about here with Yellen.
But Secretary Janet Yellen said only that she's committed to getting the money out as quickly as possible. In a letter to staff obtained by CNBC, she called the effort a huge responsibility because if we do our jobs right, then we accelerate this recovery. It's also not just about these checks. Treasury is also dealing with the expanded child tax credit, tax-free unemployment insurance, and ensuring that student loan relief isn't taxed. And guys, don't forget, we're also in the middle of the regular tax filing season. So Treasury is urging people to get their returns in early and to do it online to help.
Oh, people know.
Back to you all.
Yeah, Elon, we're very focused, obviously, on those $1,400 checks. But you mentioned the child tax credit. I mean, that is pointed. Many point to that as even more significant in some ways for the longer term.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, the amount of money is bigger than the $1,400 checks. It's between $3,000 and $3,600 per child. And it's given out on a recurring basis, which is a very different model for providing these types of direct cash relief. And progressives in particular are interested in using that as a template for the way to deliver the social safety net of the future.
Right. Elon Moy, thank you.
The social safety net of the future. And there are a lot of people that believe. Oh, wait, hold on. What is this?
CEO position in a new regulatory filing. An additional title for CFO Zach Kirkhorn as well. Master of Coin, a Game of Thrones reference. Reminder that Tesla just a couple of weeks ago did invest about $1.5 billion in Bitcoin. So maybe something to tie in there as well. Tesla is higher right now. It's up about 2%. It's actually higher on the year as well now with this gain. We got a big show still ahead for Squawk on the Street, so don't go anywhere.
All right, so we got news of the Sundial news is a press release provided by Sundial, so it's directly from Sundial, of a partnership, a 50-50 joint venture with Sunstream Bancorp. The joint venture will increase. Well, there we go. The joint venture will leverage a strategic financial and operational partnership to generate asymmetrical enhanced risk return opportunities in the cannabis industry. Who writes this garbage? Like, can we just use English here, please? Basically, what they're saying is 1 + 1 = 3. That's what they're trying to convey here. And potentially because they called this 1 + 1 = 3, in other words, the sum is greater than the sum of the parts. The total sum is greater than the sum of the parts. Oh my God. This is giving me flashbacks to like college math. Blech! Sorry. And look, there's some things that are cool. Like, and I know that's crazy to say that there's some math that's cool, but I think there is some math that's useful. Like you learn about expected value and net present value and future value, right? This stuff is so important for finance, but a lot of the other stuff just makes me want to vomit. But anyway, let's see here. Sundial up about 8% on that news. I think there was also news on SOS, but we'll look at that in a moment. All right, let's go here and see what's losing. It's still ChargePoint. ChargePoint Bitcoin down. Oh, Shift down about 4.3%. We've got Roblox down about 2% at $68, not as low as it was earlier. Fisker down a little bit. We've got Carvana, BYD, this is manufacturing in China, down a chunk over here. Upwork down about 1%. JP Morgan. It's fascinating. These guys that are just sort of getting left behind over here. G-Tech Holdings, the cannabis play, just went negative. Kappa kind of having a hard time bouncing off that 13 where it's been sitting for a while. Jumping up to the top, we got Roku, Twilio, Twitter, Chipotle, Fleer, Pinterest, Plug, all around 0.6% or under in terms of gains. FRX up about 1%. CRISPR also up about 1%. SOS really pushing here consistently. I'm going to pull up to see what the news is over here. But look at QuantumScape. We should also try to see what the QuantumScape news is because this one's really, really running here. So let's go look at Tesla. Tesla's at 2.3%, kind of slowing its gains a little bit here for the day. A little bit of a consolidation. NEO up 1%. Lemonade 4% on Lemonade. Wow, what a move on Lemonade here. Churchill gave up its run. Not sure what happened there, but we almost hit $29. We almost got back into our old boxes that we had drawn. And we have just U-turned a little bit here on Churchill Capital. Let's go ahead and figure out what's going on with SOS. Usually something we write when we need help. Okay, hold on. Where's the security? Is it this one? That must be it. Let's go see what the company news is here. But yeah, this is an insurance marketing business. That's right. I remember now. It was like a CRM for insurance. I don't remember exactly what it was. They say marketing. Okay. But anyway, I think a lot of, I hate to say it, but I think there are a lot of people who are swing trading SOS and they have absolutely no idea what it does. And honestly, that doesn't necessarily matter sometimes when you're swing trading or when you're just very short-term trading. You know, trends matter more. So SOS shares rise after new cryptocurrency mining rigs installed. Wow, that's the news. A second fleet of 5,000 cryptocurrency mining rigs. Together with its 5,000 mining rigs, the company expects the combined fleet to have the capacity to calculate an average of 353 petahashes per second for mining Bitcoin and 707 gigahashes per second for mining Ether. The company also said on Feb 24, wait a minute. No, but this article is today. So they published this today. Okay. It was awarded. Okay. This is then now they're just recapping old news. Wow. Okay. So I guess mining Bitcoin is very profitable for your stock. All right, 27%. Golly, everyone should get into mining Bitcoin. Imagine Tesla goes, we are taking all Teslas when they sit around idle, and we're gonna have a mine Ether or some kind of cryptocurrency. Too bad Ether mining will be short-lived. Why is that? Because of staking? What's my opinion in terms of how far AMC will go? To the moon, man. It just depends where the moon is, right? So Churchill is still sitting around that 4.5% there. Enphase doing nice at about Enphase finally going back a little bit here. Coming up at nice run at Enphase. Very, very good. We know this is going back to 200. Such a great company. All right, what else do we have here? So ChargePoint still leading losses here. What is this here? Stay America. Let's listen to the Stay America news.
Hotel brands that did thrive during the pandemic, offering furnished rooms and a kitchenette at a lower price. It did see strong demand last year from construction and healthcare workers, an average occupancy, get this, of 74% compared to the industry average of 44% last year. But there are other players in this extended stay market. There's Choice Hotels, Marriott's Residence Inn, Hilton's Home Suites. So it's certainly a more crowded space than you would think. Morgan?
Yeah, Seema, just to dig into that a little bit, I realize you just kind of broke it down that you could say this deal and extended stay in general, this area of the market, it was kind of an outlier in the midst of the pandemic. But does it speak to...
This is actually potentially going to be better. Hold on. Oh, why is it not operating? Here we go. Uh-oh. Hold on, I'm trying to get Bloomberg up here. Give me one sec. What's going on with our audio here? There we go.
It really depends on how the reopening goes at the same time and if the banks have other places to put that money. And the issue is, we kind of saw an inkling of that a couple weeks ago with a poor 7-year auction. And the concern is if that bond volatility bleeds into equity markets, where does it hit the most? And it usually hits the tech-heavy ETFs. And I always think that's funny to say that, right? Because the reality is the S&P is a tech-heavy ETF. The NASDAQ is a tech-heavy ETF. Like saying tech-heavy is like saying the markets. So from an options perspective, I find it fascinating that this really isn't being priced in at all. It's a completely flat term structure, guys. Between now and April 16th, you're getting on S&P and Qs kind of 5 times to 8 times payouts to protect against kind of like a down 3 to down 8% move in those expiries. That's pretty high and pretty attractive. And it tells me that at least within equity options, they are not positioning for this to be a volatile event.
And of course, for Jargon Alert, SLR, supplementary leverage ratio, banks didn't have to count treasuries on their balance sheet and to have collateral against them. So if that moves away and they have to count it back, they're going to have to sell some T-bills in the market, which could create a lot of market volatility. Where else are we positioned here? Like, where else is the market positioned for some big event? And the flip of that question is, where can you trade off of that?
Yeah, I wish I could tell you that people are really positioned here for some big event, and the reality is they're not. They're not really positioned for FOMC this week or even options expiry. You're getting about a 2.5% straddle right now on the Qs. And that's
basically saying nobody has any freaking clue what's going to happen when Fed Chair Jerome Powell talks on Wednesday and what they're going to do with the liquidity coverage ratios. But it's got some big words going on here, but
potentially as we get to the next earnings cycle, maybe you'll start seeing the positioning come back. But right now, VIX has kind of come in. We're still floating above 20 handle, which has been, this entire pandemic has been that way. But in terms of the curve, you don't really see a hump in any place special. And then obviously everyone's getting their stimulus checks soon as well, which I think starts to kind of change the options landscape, because as we know, people have, been buying options with that money. And so maybe you start seeing that changing the volatility landscape too.
Just picking up on that point, I was going to talk about some of the sectors, but let's pick up on that point as you've taken us there. In terms of where you think the bulk of that money goes, does it goes into equities? I think it was Mizuho suggesting that maybe the bulk of it goes into Bitcoin. Do you have a handle on what kind of size and scale you think the impact of it could be?
The money goes into Bitcoin. Hey, you never know. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the sticks though for a moment. Let's just keep an eye here for just a moment on what's going on. Look at this SOS run, folks. Look at that. What a strong straight run here. Absolutely incredible. Incredible run here. Up 30% now intraday. We've got NGA holding firm at 21. Did expect this to go over a 20, and it has. Somebody was asking about out of the money call options on AMC. It's not something I would buy when the market is so green like this. Personally, I think you get the worst pricing. The best time to buy call options is when the market is when the stock's falling. You know, I feel like you're going to get destroyed on pricing. And it's going to be very difficult to be profitable unless you get some really outsized gains. In which case, if we do get some really outsized gains, great. But just be careful with out-of-the-money calls while a stock is rising. Whew, you get just wrecked. I mean, you really price in best-case scenarios by doing that, and almost all best-case scenarios. And generally, we don't get everything as a best-case scenario. So DoorDash also down 2% here. GM 2%. We got Peloton sitting around 2%. GTech hold down about 1.5%. Etsy 1% here. What else do we have? Disney's actually down today on despite this massive sort of what appears to be a recovery rally in airlines. Disney down and Neo relatively flat. We've got Wayfair at 318, Ubiquity up. We got Apple at 122 again. They're moving very slowly, actually. Apple's kind of gains here, not so fast. Not getting back to some of those higher levels we saw of that 140 range, the 130s. Very tentatively returning. Affirm actually green today. Affirm has been beat down for quite a while here. And Tesla's having trouble holding on to that 2% number today. Nice big red candlestick coming here. Geez, very bizarre. Bizarro market here. XPeng, we've got about 2.3% over here. There's talk of maybe some news at XPeng. So maybe let's take a peek here at the Bloomberg terminal and just see what kind of news we can get out of XPEV. All right, let's see. Okay, let's go to individual company news. So we've got, okay, I don't see anything actually here. Oh, here we go, local government funding. There we go. XPeng has secured a $77 million investment from a government-backed fund, a further boost as the Chinese electric vehicle startup seeks to solidify its position in the world's largest market. XPeng received the cash injection from a holding company, the investment arm of the provincial government of Guangdong, where the company also has 2 manufacturing bases. Oh. Does anybody ever do this? I always think this is fun to do. You jump in, Guangdong, and let's just type in XPeng. We get it? It's in Mountain View. I don't know why we went back over here when we were literally hovering over Guangdong, China. Dude, it will not let me leave Mountain View. Like, I don't know what they did, but it will not let us leave this. Like, a good anchor, and that's not even XPeng, that's X Motor. Okay, well, I guess we're not gonna get get that right now. All right, so they're talking about the hotel merger, and now they're talking about the Canada over here. So, what do we got here? Listen to this.
And a Federal Reserve that's learned about how to manage inflation.
That's the Treasury Secretary. Pretty interesting comments over the weekend talking about the prospect of higher inflation in the coming years. David, it's interesting. The street's really trying to wrestle with this last couple of weeks. B of A's general take has been we're moving into what they call sort of mid-cycle inflation. It's before the point at which inflation turns truly bad for investing. And they repeat there are some cases where deflation in energy, as we've long talked about, certainly apparel and retail, even some financial services, that you can make a case for ongoing tepid inflation, even with shocks within small silos of the economy. That's apparently what Yellen's referring to.
And I make it every day.
Listen to Yellen, of course, you're listening to a former Fed chair as well. So when she speaks about inflation, it's always interesting, not just as her current position as Treasury Secretary. But Carl, doesn't that, it undergirds so much of the policy going on right now? I mean, we've issued, I think.
By the way, if you want to know a little bit more about the two inflation scenarios, if you're kind of weirded out by the two inflation scenarios, are we going to have inflation? Are we not going to have inflation? What are the arguments of that? I'm going to pull up a video here that I encourage you to check out. So it is right here, the one with the blue coffee mug, right here. Make sure you watch this. The Coming Great Depression versus Roaring 20s. This is all about inflation. Problem is, inflation doesn't work in titles. So anyway, check that out. Okay, let's go back to what they're talking about here.
Around inflation needed to be revisited and revised. So I still continue to keep a close eye on all of these price points. Maybe you can make that argument around shipping, but minimum wage didn't make it into that $1.9 trillion stimulus package that we just saw passed. However, it's still being kicked around in Congress, and you've got to wonder if and when you see an increase to minimum wage, what that also does to wages more broadly. Yes, we can talk about labor market slack and all that kind of stuff and the millions of Americans that are still unemployed. But at some point, you are going to see those wages rise. And that is also going to contribute to the inflation picture, Carl. And it's going to be a piece of the puzzle that the Fed is going to watch very closely, given how it measures.
Yeah, all right. We'll circle back to that. We'll Jen Psaki circle back to this. Let's look at this. CCIV is trying to hold on to 4% for dear life here, but still got that darn downtrend going on right now, intraday. We do have Tesla also not capable of holding on to the 2%, now up around 1.5%. EBIX, which was actually red in the after hours on Friday, is actually green now, heading towards that 35 we talked about. Really heading to that 35. XL Fleets here, Tesla. These guys relatively flat compared to some of these crazy gains that we're seeing here. SOS 27%, AMC 18%, NGA. Look how flat NGA got here. Let's go ahead and just grab this here. Yeah, I mean, look at this volatility here. Spike, plummet, spike, flat. It's been pretty flat over at NGA, right around $21. Let's see. Somebody says, any idea why EA is not doing well? I don't know what their ticker is. EA. Hold on a second. Darn headphones here. What's the ticker? I don't know what the ticker is. Maybe share the ticker. We'll look at it. Yeah, Tesla really struggling to maintain this over 700 position, although we've also had Dave & Buster's sell off a little bit here from some of the peaks that we've seen. Macy's is blowing up, says someone. Yeah, look at that recovery gain here. EA is EA. That's what I thought. It just didn't come up. Maybe I just didn't hold it long enough. Oh, did I write DA? Oh, thank you. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. EA, all of a sudden, a little bit of sell pressure here. We can take a peek over here. Yeah, I thought EA was EA, but apparently I had written DA, so good catch. All right, what do we got here? News? Hold on. What's this? New SPAC deal? Let's listen to this for a moment and we'll come back to this.
Retired four-star general Keith Alexander, founder and co-CEO of IronNet. He is the former director of the NSA and was the first commander of U.S. Cyber Command. General, thanks for being with us today. Welcome.
Thank you, Morgan. An honor to be here.
My gosh, everybody's getting into the SPAC game. Oh, you used to be an officer or a general in the military? You should have a SPAC. Oh, you're an athlete? You should have a SPAC. Everybody's getting a SPAC.
The other cybersecurity firms.
So that's a great question because we really need collective defense for our country. So what is that? It's essentially three things from IronNet's perspective. First, it's how you detect malware that others can't see using behavioral.
Okay, so it's another cybersecurity play, cybersecurity SPAC. Me joining that space of like CrowdStrike, for example. A lot of these cybersecurity firms getting a lot of attention on the public markets right now that they weren't getting, previous to recent runs. Let's go. I want to look at EA and then top news here. I do want to just give a quick reminder to use that expiring coupon code. Expires today. Get 38% off using that coupon code down below on the courses. Wait for it. Wait for it. You get lifetime access to all the lectures, and any lectures that get added in the future will be totally free. And you get access to the private live streams I hold every day where we do Q&A. Get 38% off expiring today. Okay, sorry, I had to do it. I had to do it. Okay, let's go to the top news here and see what's going on in top news. So hopping on over to the top news section. Well, actually, this is EA. So let's see what's going on with EA first. So EA, I don't see particular news here. Nintendo has a hiccup. I'm not seeing news specific to EA here. Let's go jump for a moment to top news. All right, and my AI. Thank you, Terry. Give it a shout out. Germany suspends AstraZeneca vaccine. Whoa. Ouch. That's not good. Health Ministry says. Wow. Okay. That is not good for AstraZeneca. Let's see. Retail Bitcoin traders rival Wall Street buyers as Mania builds. Oh, that's always a good title. Mania builds. Okay, what else here? Anytime I hear 2 Sigma now, I think of Vlad. It's a 5 Sigma event. Okay. Okay. So what is this? Bloomberg opinion. No. Okay. Elon Musk calling himself a techno king in a new So Elon Musk calling himself the techno king, which we've seen on some headlines here, is actually from an SEC filing where he called himself that. It isn't just the name is okay. Well, this is an opinion piece here where somebody is a little bit ragging on the techno king title here. But we're not going to go deep on opinion here. That's not the point. We are looking at facts, and the fact is that AMC is now up 20%. Actually, almost 21%, continuing to run here. Woo! Absolutely incredible. Continuing its run. Sundial, now up 13%, also continuing its run. I mean, this was up 4% at open. Now it's up about 13%. I think it's going to run into earnings. Could be wrong, but wow. It wouldn't be a shocker either. Let's see, QuantumScape. QuantumScape really had a nice open. Kind of consolidated here, but we are starting to run again. Canoe is almost at $16 a share. That's impressive. Churchill's coming back. EXPI's coming back. Man, it is. There were some. I just hope that you got some dip buying in, because that what's crazy is we felt for so long that while the crash was happening, and we're like, oh, man. Right? While the crash was happening, we were so concerned that this is not going to end. And that's very common, because when you feel like your back is against the wall and you feel like you're getting beat up, you can't help but feel like this is never going to end. I need to do something about it. I need to sell. I need to rebalance. I've made mistakes. So normal. And this is what I teach in the just an example of the stuff that I teach in the Psychology of Money group. The bad comes to an end. It stops. And when it stops, people are usually like, oh, well, I'll wait for the bottom to buy. And then they never do, because it goes green and they're like, oh, well, it's going to come back. And then it just goes green, which is pretty much what we've seen for the last week. Starting Tuesday, actually. Tuesday was really the start of the run again. Last Monday was still a little rough. So keep that in mind. Okay, what do we got over here?
Not forget the fact that New York is getting an avalanche of federal cash, $100 billion, including $12 billion that goes straight into state coffers. But oh no, stick it to the rich. God forbid that they stick around. We know that so many have already.
Straight to politics, apparently. Okay, let's jump back.
Like solar winds. Take those.
Still talking about this fact that's coming up. So let's go see what's Bloomberg covering here. Oh, let's listen to we'll listen to this one.
How much of
Biden's
that
tax
do you
hike.
expect to be paid for in terms of funding via tax hikes?
Thanks so much for having me, guys. And I think that's the perfect way to phrase this, is a big apparently in front of that, tax increases in the $3 to $4 trillion range. I had a conversation with Democratic leadership recently, and they reminded me of how Democrats raised taxes to offset the cost of the Affordable Care Act in 2009. As you all will remember, and we remember definitely over here, and the Biden team remembers because they were in the White House, the Democrats proposed a series of tax increases, promptly lost 63 House seats, 6 Senate seats, and a slew of governor's mansions. And then all those proposed tax increases were either repealed or never even went into effect. So when Democrats think about taxes and they think about how they've come out of the last year of coronavirus and passed this most recent $1.9 trillion package, I think they start from a vantage point of, look, let's have a conversation about how this might look if it was deficit neutral. Let's roll out a $3 trillion package that includes $1 or $2 trillion in tax increases. And once you get down the road of having that conversation, which we think will start in the mid-April timeframe, you get to conversations around, well, all right, what does a 25% corporate tax rate really do for you? That generates about $286 billion in revenue. If we're going to spend $1.5 to $2 trillion on this infrastructure bill, is it really worth the pain of generating revenue from corporations only to get less than a third of that package offset with a corporate tax rate increase? The same would be true for any of the other ideas you could come up with. There's some pieces on the low-hanging fruit end of the spectrum, I think. Specific taxation rates increasing on specific line items for well-off corporations or well-off individuals, like the estate tax or the GILTI tax on overseas intangibles from tech and pharma companies. Those are possibilities, but these across-the-board corporate and individual tax rate hikes that the street is speculating about right now just don't have 50 votes in the Senate. And of course, that's the only number of votes that Democrats have. So my expectation is most, if not all, of this bill will not be paid for. And the overall size of the bill will ultimately be about half of whatever we see from the Biden administration.
Wow, that's a big projection. So this particular person here is saying, hey, Biden's going to try to raise taxes with this infrastructure bill, but they're not going to get Republicans on board with tax hikes. So maybe they'll just negotiate. Like maybe Biden saying we're going to raise a bunch of taxes is just a way to negotiate to get Republicans on board and go, well, we'll vote for it if you just take out the tax hikes. Oh, we'll see. It'll be interesting. What do we got here?
Still up triple digits for the year already. We're back in a moment.
They're talking about Bitcoin being down at about 56,800. Okay, let's go back to the sticks because why not? Let's see what the sticks have for us. Okay, still 25% on SOS. Tiny little bit of consolidation after we were up about 30%. NGA is just very stuck at 21. Very, very stuck at 21, which is great. Very, very good. Let's see here. AMC, okay, up about 18% here. GoPro, Sundial, 10%. American kind of gave up a little bit here, trending down a bit, whereas United is just consistently trending up. Let's see. What else do we have here? American Airlines, Open Door, Canoe, Tilray. Cannabis plays moving up. Let's see. Nordstrom moving up again, $43. Really incredible here. We've got Norwegian Cruise Lines and Churchill Capital up 4.5%, but not the high that we saw during the day at Churchill. No, still not that high. We do have ChargePoint at about 8.69% of a loss. Let's see how Blink is doing on this ChargePoint sell-off here. Blink's up about 1%. But so, Tesla's right there with it, but Tesla's also given away some love today. Tesla was doing, at one point, was up just over 2%. Now it's only up about 1.4%. Square up about 0.75%. Let's see, what else? Bitcoin Now down about almost 6% here. Just hit a bottom of 54,600. Interesting sell-off here. So it's almost like, oh, stimulus check Saturday, sell-off. Very interesting. All right, Pinterest is slightly down. Let's see what Pins is. I want to say it's right at around 70 here. Pinterest at 71. Okay, what do we got here?
CNBC.com. More squawk.
An ad.
Ahead.
Yep, it was an ad. All right. What about Varnes?
Take what we've lost and learn to come out better and stronger. It's not just about getting back to normal, and that's why
Universal basic income politics. And Bloomberg has an ad. Everyone's got an ad. So in that case, let's go to top news. Top news is kind of the same as it has been. Yeah, not crude oil declines. The housing boom that never ends. All right. Well, going back to the sticks here for a moment. AMC, 19.7% right here. Trying to rally again after a little bit of consolidation period. So it looks like maybe we had our bounce right here. Hit a low of about 13.12. Now bouncing back up. How is Microvision doing today? Let's see what MViz is doing today. MViz. All right. So MViz is up 4%, $18. Rocket 3.5% at roughly around $26, with Lemonade at about 108. A Square just popped up a little bit, 244, and Tesla's actually gaining a little bit again here. Looks like the broader market is starting to gain a little bit again. Sticks, there we go. Macy's, nice, solid gains today. Couple consolidation points, but very, very strong gains today. EXPI 6%. I mean, this is an overall very, very green day, and I'll take it. Don't mind the green days, but that means in order for you to enjoy the green days, you have to remember, do not squander the red days. And this is why we got a mug that says buy the dip. This is why, like, for example, if you're in the Stocks and Psychology Money group and you get the buy-sell alerts, on the green days, sometimes it's a little boring because we watch. My job, in my opinion, is to encourage you not to sell when the market's down and to baby everyone a little bit more when we have a rough market, especially in the course. I mean, in the course, I was in there almost all day long just chatting up in Discord, trying to make people not freak out and panic. I think there's value to that because we had this very, very intense sell-off. It was short, but it was very intense. And that creates a lot of emotion. So no, but that was, the alerts were going off like crazy then. It was kind of fun on that sense. Anywho, what else do we have here? SOS, NGA. Okay, this is all pretty consistent, very stable right now in the day. We kind of have our expectations set for the day. We haven't seen massive swings in stocks here. We've seen gains and then just holds, really. And if we end the day strong like this, it's a good sign. Let's take a peek here at the Treasuries. So here's the 10-year. It's fallen a little bit at 1.6, and no particular news that has come through. Okay. Well, hey, folks, there you have it. Thank you very much for being here. I will be back later. Use that coupon code HODL. Link down below gets you 38% off. You can bundle up as well. And folks, I've got the course member live stream starting in an hour and 15 minutes. So I'm going to go get myself some cereal. And we'll see you all later. Thank you so much for being here.